What's going on, YouTube? And welcome back to Goal Line Hockey. It's your boy, Kevin Forte, and we are taking a look today at the Edmonton Oilers. We have a lot of updates on Evander Kane, his potential next contract. Tyson Barrie may be on his way out in a trade, some guys that may be on their way in. We're going to take a look at all of that today. So we're going to start off with Evander Kane. So Evander Kane is looking between $7 to $8 million per season on his next contract. Now that's from Kevin Weeks. I think it's going to be interesting if he does indeed get that. And the question is too, what's the duration of the contract? Is it a 3-year deal? Is it a 7-year deal? I think more likely it's going to be a shorter term contract if he's dead set on getting that number, maybe between 2 to 3 years. I just don't think there's going to be many teams doing that. Based off of his track record, there are going to be more attractive options out there in the free agency market. And it's not that he's not a good player. He's a very talented hockey player. But there's a lot of talented hockey players that score goals. It depends on what happens. Now, there's a reason he's still in the league, because there's interest in him. And it makes sense. But I think that's something we have to keep an eye on going into free agency. Is he a guy that goes day one? I do think he does go day one. I think it's going to be more a question of who's willing to give him that duration on a $7-8 million contract per season. So we've gotten some updates on Mike Smith, and this is from Kurt Levens of the Edmonton Journal, and he expects goaltender Mike Smith to retire. Mike Smith's been with the Oilers for a couple seasons now. He was really good out when he was a part of the Phoenix Coyotes at the time, and Arizona. That's really where he spent the majority of his career, and he's probably going to hang them up. He's bounced around a little bit here and there, but overall, this is a really good goaltender. He was a goaltender that fought. He was one of those guys that just didn't care, and I think that was something that was really fun to watch with Mike Smith. If there's any version of a Ron Hextall or what's his name? The Islanders goaltender, a Billy Smith in the modern era, right there is your guy. That is Mike Smith. He just has that competitive fire to his game, that nature. He really is. He's going to be missed if he does retire. So then comes, if Mike Smith goes, who could be coming in to replace him as the starting goaltender of the Oilers? That is really the big question this offseason. And the Edmonton Oilers have been connected to Alex Nedeljkovic. Nedeljkovic is a guy that a lot of people are very high on, per Rory Boylan. Now, Nedeljkovic struggled a little bit last season in Detroit. It was his first season with the Wings, but the Wings also weren't a very good hockey team. Not a ton of depth. So I think the Red Wings may be looking to go back into the market, see what's out there, get a bridge goaltender until Sebastian Cossa, the Lord and Savior who's up in Edmonton with the Oil Kings, until he's ready. They're going to need another guy to be in there. Maybe they aren't so sold on Ned like they were a year ago. So I wonder what the price tag will be for that, because the Red Wings only gave up 2 second-round picks for him at the time, and everybody was like, that is a steal for the Red Wings. And looking now, I don't know if they get 2 second-round picks for Ned. So that'll be something to look at. And is this Steve Yzerman's maybe first little hurdle in his tenure as the Red Wings GM? Maybe a little mistake there with Ned. Another goaltender that's been mentioned, I don't know what to think either way of this, but the Edmonton Oilers have been connected to Kaapo Kähkönen. Again, per Rory Boylan. Kähkönen is the Minnesota Wild goaltender prospect. He got traded at the deadline to the San Jose Sharks, obviously when the Wild brought in Marc-Andre Fleury. Kähkönen kind of wasn't much when he ended the season. The Sharks weren't very good either. So I don't know if I'd be sold on him as a starter, definitely. But as a 1B, I guess you could try it on a 1 or 2 year deal. He's definitely not the guy, but I get where the Oilers are going here. They're looking for younger goaltenders in the marketplace that could turn into a starter, like they kind of did with Cam Talbot when they traded him from the Rangers. You're looking for that kind of guy. And I think that's what the Oilers are kind of trying to do here, because they haven't really been connected to Jack Campbell. They haven't been connected to Darcy Kemper. They don't have the cap space to do so. So they're going to go for the guy that's more cost effective, like a Ned, like a Kähkönen. That's where it seems to lie for them right now. So, of course, I'll keep you guys up to date with that But that will be interesting. Now we move into the trade front. There's some trade rumors, and I think these are quite interesting. Dmitry Samurov could be a potential trade piece for the Oilers this offseason, per Alan Mitchell, who is a very good insider up in Canada. So, if you guys don't know, Dmitry Samorukov is a defenseman. He's played with the Guelph Storm of the Ontario Hockey League. But it sounds like the Oilers could be willing to move him for the right price. At the time, he was projected to be a top 4 defenseman. That's pretty solid, a pretty decent skater. But I think the Oilers are looking at other guys that are already there that they just like more. And now you have guys like Philip Broberg probably coming up next season. There might not be as much space for a guy like Samorukov to make the lineup. So maybe that's where a trade is made and they're able to get something back. So that is something to keep an eye on. Now we're taking a look at number 2 on the Edmonton Oilers, and that's Duncan Keith. Kurt Levins of the Edmonton Journal believes Duncan Keith can still help the Oilers next season and would be very surprised if he were to retire. Levins also adds that he fully expects Keith to extend his playing career past this coming season. I think that's kind of interesting. A lot of people would say maybe he would retire at 37 years old. I think he is 36, 37. Sounds like he wants to stick around a little bit longer, and he might even play past 2023, which I thought would be kind of interesting. So this is from Elliot Friedman, also following up on the Duncan Keith situation. The Oilers have asked Duncan Keith and Mike Smith to make a retirement decision by July 1st. If I'm the Oilers, I don't care what decision they make. Make whatever decision you want because you're not coming back. I mean, Duncan Keith, you have contract still. You have to re-sign him. He's got one more year left at that cap hit. Mike Smith, you probably don't even have to bother. Just let him go. For your sake and his. So I think they will do that with Mike Smith, but I do think they're going to have to deal with another year of Duncan Keith. And that's kind of where we finished today's video. I mean, the Oilers, at the end of the day, I'm making another video from when I talk about the Pittsburgh Penguins. So if my Oilers fans are interested, Tyson Barrie's name has been thrown out there a lot. That's one I would definitely keep an eye on if I'm an Oilers fan. Tyson Barrie. Jesse Puljujarvi has been another one. And obviously, who we talked about today, Dmitry Samorukov. Those are the 3 trade assets, I would say, right now for the Oilers. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Who would you like to see be the next starter for the Edmonton Oilers next season? Opening night at Rexall Place. Where do you want to see... Oh, it's not called Rexall Place anymore. Oh, my God. Rogers Arena, right? Rogers Arena. At Rogers Arena, who'd you like to see in between the pipes for the Edmonton Oilers? So let me know what you guys think. Thank you so much for watching, and let's go Oilers.